Welcome, Dan Doyle, recruiting coach manager here at NCSA. And today I have the pleasure of sitting down with head coach of Wheaton College, Coach Schauer. Coach Schauer, how are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us and excited to talk about your program. I'm a little biased. I grew up in Wheaton. I played in your conference, coached in your conference. So I know just how excellent you guys are on and off the floor, and just what a beautiful campus and environment that you have for a kid for 4 years of college. So I'm going to let you do all the bragging on it, and I'll probably pump in some other things that I remember. But Coach Schauer, why don't you introduce yourself, your coaching background, and a little overview there of Wheaton College?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, I'm Mike Schauer. I've been the head basketball coach here at Wheaton. This is the start of my 12th year. But I've been around Wheaton a long time. I actually played at Wheaton from 1989 to 1993, and was fortunate to also, play in a really good league. CCIW has been good for a long, long time, and started my coaching career right out of college. Became the assistant for Bill Harris right out of college, and was his assistant for 7 years. And then went on to be the head coach at two other Division III schools at Eastern University out in Pennsylvania, and then 7 years at Wheaton College in Wenham, Massachusetts, before coming back and replacing Bill Harris upon his retirement. He really built the program. I would like to think that I've maintained that for my 12 years here. And, Wheaton's just a very unique institution relative to some of the other schools that you'll talk to or young men may get recruited from. The biggest thing we're looking for at Wheaton is a sincerely Christian institution. Young men need to love Jesus and want to be in an environment in which Christian principles and biblical principles are going to be taught and attempted to be maintained. Our motto is for Christ and his kingdom. And so we want young men that have a personal relationship with Jesus and want that to be a significant part of who they are in their educational process. And then our academics are very high. We're a nationally ranked liberal arts college. Our ACT average is going to be in the high 20s to 30. And then we play, I would argue, at the highest level of Division III basketball. So we need guys that are able to compete and want to compete to win national championships. But for the young men who want those three things, a sincerely Christian environment, are motivated academically, and want to win and play at a really high level, we offer something that a lot of places don't. And so it's unique. It isn't for everybody, but for the young men that want those things, Wheaton is a really attractive option.
Absolutely. And outstanding campus. And you guys are located about 30 minutes straight west of Chicago in Wheaton, which is one of the nicer suburbs around the Chicagoland area. Showing an aerial picture of your campus, but this is just partly part of your campus. You have a pretty big campus that I know expands probably 10 to 12, good city blocks in the heart of downtown Wheaton. And then tell me a little bit about that academic profile that you're looking for in a recruit, GPA, test scores. And then also transcript, do they need to have honors and AP classes, pretty heavily weighted into their transcript to consider them? So tell me a little bit more about the academic background you look for.
Yeah, so they need to be motivated academically. Again, our average GPA is about a 3.7, 3.8. The SAT, the ACT is about a 29, somewhere in there as our averages. I always tell young men they don't necessarily have to have those to get in, but those are our averages. And so we're looking for students who are just motivated academically, that piece matters to them. So, in terms of the transcripts and the AP courses, obviously, not every GPA is the same. Not every 3.7 is the same as another 3.7. So we certainly are looking for guys that have taken and done well in AP courses and have taken a strong course load at their high school level. So those things all matter quite a bit. And this from doing it, the two questions we all ask is, what are your grades and GPAs? Those things matter. And then when we start to talk to other people about you, we're gonna ask, what kind of young man are you? Are you coachable? Those things. So the character and academic piece matter a lot, but that would be our profile.
Awesome. And then what are some of the more popular majors that you have on your men's basketball roster or across campus that, Wheaton is known for?
Yeah, so our team is probably 50% business econ. Most of our guys probably go into some sort of financial services or management or something like that. we actually, we have a unique connection to the NBA. We actually have several of our graduates who are in management positions within the NBA, and we have several of our graduates who have gone on to do very well in financial services, whether that's here in Chicago or in New York, someplace like that. It's about 50% of our basketball players are business econ majors. The other big majors here, the sciences are really strong at Wheaton, really across the board. And then obviously, Bible theology, given who we are, that would be a strong major. But really, our guys are predominantly business and science, although we have several others as well, history and some of those. But business and sciences are probably the two that are most represented on our team.
Real good. And then do you have any team study halls or a full-time academic advisor to help student athletes with the academic rigor that they'll experience at Wheaton?
Yeah, so the way I always describe that to recruits is I always tell them you earn your way into study hall. Our players come, if we do our jobs well, we end up with motivated students. And so the only reason they struggle academically here typically is because they have a inability to life manage. They simply don't do a very good job of time management. So we do a pretty good job of tracking their academic progress throughout their freshman year and make sure they're getting to class and that they're performing appropriately. But once they sort of clear that hurdle, most of our guys are academically strong enough that we don't spend a whole lot of time worrying about them academically. So once we clear the hurdle of they may only have one class a day, which is so different than high school, and they know that they've got to take care of that business. So we do have study halls, but you earn them by falling behind or not attending classes or those types of things. But we have nothing formal, and if I'm candid, most of our guys don't need it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're recruiting kids with 30 ACTs and that type of GPA, those kids usually are self-motivated and
Right.
don't need the monitoring there. Let's talk about your basketball program. What's your coaching style and philosophy there at Wheaton?
Yeah, I always start it by saying I'd rather win than be right. So I'm going to do what I would like to do, but we don't always do exactly that because not every team is capable of it. So, I think, probably another way to say it is we're always going to recruit offense and teach defense. We're going to be a pressure man-to-man defensive team. We want to get out in passing lanes, pressure the ball. We play a little differently than some of the way the game is going right now. We don't really play a pack defense. We're trying to get out into passing lanes and put a lot of pressure on the basketball. And offensively, we're trying to get up and down the floor, trying to score 80 a night. Our Final Four team averaged about 81 a game. I want guys to play with great freedom offensively. Shoot the ball when you're open. I think it's a fun style to play, but it's demanding. I can be a little demanding. I'm going to have high expectations for, their practice habits and discipline and those types of things. But really, we're just, like everybody else, we're trying to put together a team full of unselfish stars, guys that are really talented, but would like to do it with a group of men that they care about and want to contribute together towards that success.
Mm-hmm. As a former player and coach that went against Wheaton, whenever we played Wheaton, I knew we needed 40 minutes of locked-in effort. You guys always just brought it and raised the bar of the level of competition that we needed to play to even compete with you. And so that's the biggest thing I tell recruits when they look at Wheaton is like, you're going to play really hard and you're going to be really good. And you're going to get after it defensively. You're definitely pressuring outside of the three-point line and I always liked that game because it always brought the best out of us as a team and kind of gave us a good measuring stick of where we were in terms of how mature our group was or the energy and effort that they would bring in. So fantastic program there, Coach. Tell me about your program's culture. You talked about a little bit on the floor, off the floor. What are you looking to accomplish here with your guys and developing them?
Yeah. So again, my hope is if we've done our jobs well, we've brought in a group of young men that love Jesus and value the things that are found in Scripture. And so off the floor, I want a culture of young men that love teammates, want to find ways that they can serve in a broader capacity. If the only reason, we think basketball is one of our gift sets and we hopefully can can honor and worship the Lord through that, but we'd like to be involved in some stuff bigger than that. So, we're going to take an international trip once every 3 years, but ours is going to look a little different. We're going to do it as a missions trip. So we're going to go and do some service projects and go to places that maybe not a lot of other teams would go. It's not a sightseeing tour. So our most recent trip was to Zimbabwe, in which we got to play some of their pro teams. But also do some service projects in a part of the world that most of us would never get to. We've been to India, to Israel. We're going to do those types of things. But I want guys that, that the culture of our team is that we see beyond ourselves. That's probably the best way to say it. We don't always succeed at that, of course, but that we are a part of a much bigger worldview. That's probably the culture I would like to have. Guys that love each other and want to be a part of something really special, both internally on our team, but certainly campus, and then not to overstate it, but more broadly than that too, sort of a worldview that has a Christ-centered perspective.
Awesome. That's great stuff. And amazing, experience that kids can have joining your program and doing the right things. Let's talk about some of the success. I'm going to share a quick video here, just for recruits to see. But one of the things that I've always liked about your program is, like I said, you guys play really hard, and then a high level of competition. So I'm going to start calling you guys Buzzer Beater U. You put this up on Twitter. You can see just the arenas that you're playing in, and then the level of competition. This one is in the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four, right? The step back three.
Correct. Yeah.
So, but
this is a lot of fun. We've been fortunate. That's obviously Aston Francis there, who was National Player of the Year, as is this video here. And I would love to take a lot of credit for this, but mostly my coaching philosophy on these are get the ball to a certain young man and go make a play. And we've been fortunate over the years to have guys that can do it. But you mentioned the places we play, the facilities. Ours, obviously, King Arena there is packed. It's a lot of fun. But our whole league is that way. We do sell the league at times to guys going, hey, listen, there isn't a higher level night in and night out than the CCIW, and we're going to play in great facilities in front of huge crowds.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, this is high level basketball here, and just amazing. I thought you were the one that was teaching Francis all those step back threes and fadeaway 3-pointers. I thought you got credit for that.
Yes, I should get credit for that. I will tell you the number of times I taunted him that I actually had a higher 3-point field goal percentage in my career than he did. And I could make the case that I was the better shooter, but I didn't let that argument last too long. So.
Awesome. And so tell me, geographically, where are you guys recruiting? Wheaton does have a national poll. So tell me about the makeup of your roster a little bit.
Yeah, we are from all over. We mentioned in the last 10 years, we tell recruits in the last 10 years, we've had at least one player from 26 different states. So, and if you go back 15 years, it's about 32 different states. So our roster is from all over. Illinois probably is still the state we get the most young men from, but we have them from all over. Currently our current roster, Nami Adom, who's was our first team all conference player, he's from Orlando. Our starting lineup is Orlando, Denver, Colorado, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. I mean, we get guys from all over the country. It's one of my favorite things about Wheaton. I really love that part of it, both in terms of our recruiting reach. I can kind of go all over the country. It's an advantage we have a little bit over the other CCIW schools. We have a little further reach in terms of our recruiting base. And there really isn't a state that we haven't recruited at least a little bit at some time over my 20 years or so recruiting for Wheaton. So they're from all over, from every type of high school, from a smaller Christian high school to large public high schools. So there really isn't a geographical area that we focus primarily on. We're looking for kids that I mentioned at the beginning that love Jesus, are serious academically, and can help us win games. And wherever you're at, we'll come to you. We'll come find you.
Real good. And then what are the goals you have for your program over the next 4 to 5 years?
Yeah, really simple. We tell this to every recruit. We want to win a national title. We won one in 1957. That was a long time ago. Obviously got to the Final Four in 2019, so knocked on the door there, and that was an unbelievable run. But when you get there and lose in that semifinal game, it sort of whets your appetite a little bit to go, I wonder what it would be like to win those last two. And so, we want to win a national title, and I want to do it and believe we can do it with young men who are high academics and love Jesus. I don't think we have to compromise on either one of those goals. So, that might seem lofty, but that is simply the goal. We would like to win a national championship.
Awesome. Yeah, no, not lofty at all, given the success you've had there at Wheaton, and most recently, like you said, playing in the Final Four. I know that's, you get so close and you're like, what ifs, and hey, we can do this again. So you're right there. And talk a little bit about your off-season program. I know in Division III you're a little bit limited on what you can do in the fall and the spring, but King Arena is absolutely beautiful. I just showed a picture of the entranceway. We've seen the gym. Here's the weight room. I mean, this is better than some of the LA Lifetime Fitnesses, big time gyms that, I've been a part of. But tell me a little bit about what it looks like in the fall and then in the spring for a player on the basketball team.
Yeah, so we're fortunate to have great facilities. We really do. We're fortunate to have the facilities that our guys get to use and our broader campus community does. So yeah, so like Division IIIs, I mean, we're gonna in the off season we've got strength and conditioning coaches that our players that will put together strength and conditioning programs for all of our student athletes. We are voluntary, so some of our guys take advantage of it, and if I'm honest, some of our guys don't. But we have it, and I always tell guys, if you don't want to do any of that stuff, find something that motivates you other than maybe being an athlete. If you don't want to put in some of that off-season work, but they're gonna do the open gym stuff. They're gonna get shots up, but most of our off-season workout stuff in the fall and the spring is provided by our strength and conditioning coaches, and they're going to be given every opportunity to improve. At the Division III level, they've got to be a little self-motivated to do it. And so, like I said, some of our guys do it, some of our guys don't, and we are going to be a place that, that just goes, that's okay. That's kind of the D3 model, that the student athlete gets to be as motivated as he or she chooses to be. But if they come to Wheaton, they will be given every opportunity to improve and get better in and out of the season if they so choose to follow the individual voluntary workout stuff that we give them.
Yeah, awesome. And then tell me a little bit about campus life. What does on-campus housing look like? Do you require your freshmen to live with one another, or can they pick just a random roommate? How much control of that do you guys have, and what's housing look like?
Yeah, so I leave that up to them. I always let them know that it's really their choice whether they want to live with another basketball player or whether they want to live with a general student. And if they want to live with a basketball player, I'll try to connect guys and let them, once they've obviously deposited and committed, and kind of let them decide if they want a room together. I kind of stay out of it beyond that. I always tell people I get to know recruits pretty well, but I have no idea what they're like to live with. So I don't really want to be involved in pairing them together too often, because I always tell them, in theory, it's great to live with another basketball player, but if you happen to not get along, you're not with that individual the entire time. So our guys, and I want our guys, honestly, I want guys that fit the college, so fit Wheaton. And so I think one of the real blessings of a place like Wheaton, you've got a lot of talented people here. And the only thing we're better at here than most people is basketball, but there are people that we can learn from outside of our program. So most of our guys live together, but not exclusively. We've got several guys who do not live with basketball players. And I kind of like that. I don't want to, I actually think the isolation sometimes you can have on a team that just puts them all together, while it might build a culture that can help you win basketball games, I think you're actually cheating the players a little bit in some of their relationships outside the team at a place like Wheaton that can be really healthy and really productive. So I don't put any of those limitations on. Again, most of our guys do live together, but that's by their choice.
Awesome. And then do most kids live on campus all 4 years, or do you notice some move off campus junior, senior year?
Yeah, I would say most live off campus eventually. So freshmen are required to be on campus. Sophomores technically can live off campus, but off campus housing is given out based upon seniority. So a sophomore really has no chance to get off campus because they're going to be too far down so in functional reality, a sophomore is also going to live on campus. Typically a junior then is going to live in a campus apartment. And the way our campus is laid out, the actual campus apartments are in some ways more off campus than off campus housing. They're actually a little further off campus. So they'll live it's campus housing, but they're apartments. And then typically seniors then will live off campus. That's obviously a generalization. It doesn't always work that way, but that's typically how it is.
Okay. Then do the majority of your players, do they have a work study or a part-time job, while attending and playing basketball?
Yeah, most of our guys do work while here on campus. And then, depending upon their financial situation or their internship situation, what they do over the summer. But, most of them will do a little bit. I always tell recruits they're probably in the 5 to 10 hours a week range of work during the year. Obviously a little heavier in the, in the fall and spring as opposed to the winter during the season. But most of our guys work a little bit, some place on campus during the school year.
Okay. And then having grown up in Wheaton, family still lives there. What's your best favorite restaurant in downtown Wheaton? Give it to me.
Oh boy, that's a great question. There are a lot of them. Yeah, I'm probably a Giamia guy. That's probably my favorite spot to go. I like that place a lot. But there are so many. I don't want to isolate too many of them because it's actually, the downtown Wheaton kind of has a quaint feel to it, but the food is really good and has actually gotten quite a bit better over the years. There've been much more places come in downtown. So, but if I probably had one choice, that's probably where I'd go.
Hey, can't go wrong with Giamia, that's for sure. And so, yeah, downtown Wheaton in the last 10 years, it had some chains or some stores, but now it's it's great. It's a hidden gem in the suburbs to go down and downtown there and eat. So, and then if I'm an interested recruit, what's the best way to start the recruiting process with you? What should I do to start to get on your radar?
Yeah, the best thing to do would be to reach out to me via email probably, which is just mike.schauer@wheaton.edu. And, express interest. The thing I would tell people is make sure you express interest in a place like Wheaton. I want to know that you've done enough research to know what we're about, if I'm really candid. So give me some sense of why you're interested in Wheaton, and that would probably include some sort of spiritual or Christian faith aspect to it. And then obviously, send me video because there's an evaluation process that needs to go through. But the best way is just reach out to me. Most of the best recruits we get are a lot of the word of mouth type stuff and people just reaching out to say, hey, I know about Wheaton and I'm interested because the area for us that's significant, the spiritual piece, it's hard to see that on an AAU packet, right? I mean, that's a conversation we have to have. And so if I know kind of that they understand who we're about, that's a significant step for us.
Okay. And then any things that we haven't covered about Wheaton that you want to, vocalize to recruits?
No, I think we've touched on it. I just, I think the biggest thing is we're just different and not better or worse. I don't want to say that we're just different. And so I really like the unique aspect of Wheaton. And so if what young men hear kind of piques their interest a little bit, and you're looking for a place that's just a little bit different than some of the other places around the country, we'd love to pursue it. It's just a unique and different opportunity relative to the norm.
Awesome. Well, Coach Schauer, thank you so much for your time. Good luck here as practice and the season is right around the corner. Recruits, check out Wheaton College, see what they have to offer, spiritually, academically, athletically, and then most importantly, come the season, if this is a school you're interested in, check them out online. Like Coach said, they recruit nationally, so getting to a game may not be doable, but check out their online stream. You guys have one of the top productions probably in small college basketball, period, where your games are on local television. You have great graphics. You've got commentators, and you've got it streams in HD. So amazing streaming services there at Wheaton, and see the level of competition they're playing, the style that they're playing, and see if that's a good fit for you there too. So once again, Coach, thank you so much for your time, and good luck here this season.
Thank you.